Hi, this is Irwin Kim here from Physioworks Health Group, and today I want to cover some jumping and landing drills that you can perform at home during this isolation period. Jumping and landing drills are really important in the sense that they teach an athlete how to decelerate their body weight and potentially accelerate it following that as well. And we see this being really important for any athlete that's performing in a sport that requires multi-directional movement. So the ability to change direction and be able to stop your body mass, accelerate again is crucial in terms of number one, being an effective player on the field. Number two, also preventing injury. So the first exercise we've got here is just some banded crab walks. So you're gonna have the band around your knees, like so. From there, you're gonna be getting yourself into a semi-squat position. You're gonna ensure your feet are facing forwards, your knees are kind of aligned over your second and third toes. And from there, you're gonna be walking side to side, just coming out to the side, small steps, lifting your feet up and coming across. You know, if you have more room at home, you could obviously feel free to go further as well. And I want you to go until you get a good burn through your glutes. So the idea with this is we're trying to warm up the glutes, trying to warm up some of our other stabilizers around the hip and knee, and trying to, I guess, train the brain to say, look, when I jump and land, I want my glutes to be engaged, I want my other stabilizers to be on as well. Okay, so crab walks are the first exercise we're going to be doing. The second exercise we're going to be doing are some drop squats. So drop squats are a really good exercise that help an athlete to kind of learn how to jump and land effectively. And to start this one, you're going to be coming up onto your toes. You're going to have your arms overhead, and you're going to come down into the squat position. Okay, so coming up and down. Now, the keys to a good drop squat would be, number one, good foot position. So feet have to be ideally 12 o'clock. You want to ensure that the weight is evenly distributed between the front and back, inside and outside of the foot as well. Okay, so secondly, we're going to think about your hip and knee position. So I want to make sure that when I do come down, I'm bending through my hips and my knees. I want to make sure I'm not just necessarily bending through my knees with no kind of hip bend. Okay? And third point I think is really important as well is good trunk position. I want to make sure my trunk is nice and strong and it's not soft and soggy. Okay, so I'll show that from the side. You're going to come up and come down. Okay, so coming up, dropping down into a squat. You can see in this position here, I've got my feet kind of nice and evenly distributed. I've got my hips and knees bent, and I've got my trunk here in a strong position. What I wouldn't want to see is I wouldn't want to see, again, poor foot position, lack of hip and knee bend, and a soggy trunk. So that might look something like this. Okay, so coming down too low would not be ideally what we want to try and incorporate or, I guess, ingrain in terms of movement pattern. Okay, so secondly, I'm going to go into a single leg drop squat. Okay, so this is good to kind of get ready for any kind of single leg jumping and landing or bounding, hopping kind of drills. So with this one, you're going to be coming up. You're going to try and think about landing on the one foot this time. So coming up and then dropping down, pausing for about a second with each one. Okay, so coming up and then pausing. Same thing. So we're thinking about foot position. We're thinking about kind of hip and knee bend as well, and we're thinking about good strong trunk position. Okay. With the first drop squat, what was really important as well that I would look for oftentimes with an athlete in clinic would be their knee position. So I've got the band here to try and cue knees not coming inwards. And ideally when we do a drop squat, when we do any kind of jumping landing drill, that knee should be aligned over second or third toe. So the band's really good here to cue an athlete to think about keeping those knees in a good line. Okay, I don't want to shove them out necessarily. I want to try and just keep them aligned over second and third toe. If you don't have a band, that's fine. But you need to be more conscious of when you come down, your knees are not collapsing inwards. So they're not coming through in that position there. Okay, because it's not a really great position at all if you want to try and avoid injury. So with a single leg drop squat, that's even more important. So you want to make sure that when you come up and then down, you're landing with that knee over second or third toe. So from side angle, same thing, coming up and then landing in a good strong position with those. So what that would take you into nicely would be the third drill here, which is going to be some bounding. So with bounding, you're going to be starting on one leg, you're going to be hopping onto the other leg. Okay, so I'm going to start on my right leg here, I'm going to bound, and I'm going to try and take those jumping and landing mechanics or kind of pointers or technique points that we were looking at just before with the drop squats into this next drill here. So I'm going to try and start on the right foot, and again, down left one, hopefully not as wobbly as I was there, but coming through again, and landing. You can kind of do the other way as well, so going from left, going to right. So it's a small hop, it's not a big hop, but I'm looking more so for that technique. Are you able to kind of control your body mass when you're landing, or already out of control with that landing? Okay. Moving into some lateral movement, you can do that side to side as well. So you can have a go at starting on your left leg here, and then coming into the right leg. Okay, so again, here, bounding, trying to think about controlling that landing as well. Okay, so here, can you make sure that when you're landing, again, you've got good foot position, your knee, hip bending, knees over second or third toe, and you're trying to get a good position where you kind of soggy. Okay, so if you were finding those pretty easy, what you could try and start going into might be some bounding off a step. You don't really have to have a step at home. You could use something like a few books, or just something that's going to elevate you off the ground. And you could try the same kind of drill that we did before. You could try some forward hopping, or bounding, sorry. So coming from left here to right one. Again, trying to make sure you're sticking that landing, just like so. And the other thing you could do as well with a step is you could also have a go at doing some sideways bounding as well. So starting on one leg here, and then trying to catch that landing again. Okay, so with the bounding, with any kind of hopping and landing drills, the idea, in my opinion, shouldn't be to do loads and loads of reps in one set. You want to try and break them down into quality reps. So with these exercises here, I might try and get an athlete to do, say, maybe three sets of maybe 5 to 8 reps, okay, of these kind of drills initially. And again, the emphasis really is more on quality over quantity, right? I'd much rather three good reps in a set rather than 10 semi kind of quality reps. All right, so good luck with that. If you have any questions or do want to kind of have your technique looked at or want a program regarding this, please feel free to get in touch with the clinic. Thanks, guys.